I have been wanting to have this conversation with you for a little while because over the last few months, I have made a pretty significant life change, and I wanted to share it with you because I'm feeling the best I've felt in years. The big change is I have stopped eating grains, and it has essentially cured the gut health issues that I have been dealing with for the last decade. So in this video, I wanted to get into the story behind my gut health journey and the things that I've been doing to feel a lot better and the ways that eliminating grains have really boosted my overall health and well-being and mood and energy and all the things. And I've even been able to incorporate some more additional daily habits that are working for me now because I have healed my gut first. I really wanted to share this journey with you guys because I know that so many of you are dealing with gut health issues of your own. And if my experience can help kind of shortcut any of you to finding answers for yourself, I would love for you to be able to skip right over the decade of gut health suffering that I've experienced and get right to the good stuff of living your most healthy and vibrant life. Let's get into it. Why is this such a big deal for me? Well, for starters, I love food. If you know me, you know that I live for cooking and gathering people around a table and eating and trying new flavors. And I've definitely always preached the philosophy that there is room for everything in a diet, from the healthy to the not so healthy. I really think moderation is key. And I still believe that, but I also have started to question if there's a food that makes you actually feel really bad and negatively impacts your health, should you be eating it? Is there room for that in a healthy diet? I want to talk about it. One reason why it's really important for me to share this in detail is that I want to be crystal clear about why I'm cutting grains out of my diet right now. For starters, I don't believe that grains are bad. Pizza's not bad. Sourdough bread is not bad. This is really all about how a certain food makes you feel. And I think that I know that food can be a really emotionally loaded topic, especially for women. It is so easy to compare what my diet looks like compared to what another person's diet looks like. And if something's working for her, then it should probably work for me. And it's really easy to go down that rabbit hole. But one thing that I am sure of from my years of research in nutrition and health is that there is no one-size-fits-all diet. We really do all have to discover what works best for our bodies, and each of our bodies is truly unique. This is really all about eating in a way that makes us feel our best. And right now for me, eating grains does not sit well with my digestive system. And I really want to eat in a way that makes me feel my most energetic, my most vibrant, and my healthiest. A little story about this topic of how food can just be such a divisive issue. I had recently shared on Instagram that I'd been experimenting with not eating grains and how I'd been feeling really good with this way of eating. I got up in the morning and I was scrolling through my DMs, and this woman had meant to forward my post to a friend, and she accidentally DM'd me. It just said, "Oh my God, she's hands down promoting an eating disorder." Whew. So I have worked really hard over the last few years to not let the opinions of strangers on the internet really get to me, and usually I'm really successful at it. But this time it did kind of cut deep because, in my early 20s, I definitely experienced some disordered attitudes toward food, and I've worked really hard over the last many years to not only have a really healthy, positive attitude towards eating and food, but especially with our community and the fact that I have a preteen daughter. This is an issue that is so important to me because I know just how destructive disordered eating can be. It really is only about how eating a certain way makes you feel and discovering the diet and the way of eating that works the best for your particular body. I wrote back to this woman. I gave her a little more context behind why I was eating this way, and no hard feelings, because you know what? We have all sent snarky comments to friends about things we see on the internet. It happens to all of us, but I just wanted to be really clear about my intentions. I want to give you guys a little history of my gut health issues leading up to this point that would make me even consider cutting sourdough out of my life, because sourdough is life, you guys. I love it and I miss it. Essentially, something I haven't talked about a lot on the internet is my digestive issues, for obvious reasons. I mean, let's be honest, sluggish digestion and extreme chronic bloating are kind of personal, but I do think that conversations around digestive health are really being normalized, and that's probably because statistics show that over half of women actually suffer from digestive issues. I know a lot of you guys are nodding your heads and feeling like, yes, this is a familiar topic to me. And I actually don't know the cause of my digestive issues. I have seen GI doctors, I've seen functional doctors, and no one's ever really been able to give me a clear answer as to what's caused my symptoms, but honestly, this isn't surprising because most digestive health issues go undiagnosed and the root cause is never really discovered. In my early 20s, I was in a really bad car accident and I had to have emergency stomach surgery where part of my intestine was removed. So I've always thought that maybe this scar tissue buildup and just this trauma to my gut may have led to some gut permeability, which is also called leaky gut. But again, this isn't proven. This is just my own theories. And like so many of you guys, I've been left kind of having to treat myself like a guinea pig and just do a lot of experiments to see if I can find any relief and improvement myself. And let me tell you, I have tried some things, including pretty much every supplement and probiotic on the market, intermittent fasting, food combining, at-home SIBO tests, making my own probiotic yogurt, colonics, hypnotherapy. Yes, there actually is a school of hypnotherapy that claims to be able to heal the gut-brain axis. And when you read about it, it makes a lot of sense, but unfortunately it didn't help me. Tons of different elimination diets to see if it could be a food allergy. So I've cut out gluten, dairy, lectins, meat, nightshades. But one thing I never cut out was all grains altogether. And even after all that, I was still struggling. I would sometimes try a certain protocol or a certain supplement and think that I was finding some relief, but after a few weeks, my old issues would come back and I was kind of right back where I started. The solution actually came to me during one of my worst bouts of extreme bloating and sluggish digestion. And to be clear, when I say that, I'm talking about constipation, but I hate that word. Anyway, so I was rereading the book Super Gut, which is all about gut health issues like SIBO and Candida, and I found it really interesting and really helpful. I'd read it before and tried incorporating some things, but I was revisiting it and I read this section where the doctor who wrote the book said that if you were dealing with unresolved digestive issues and you tried almost everything, but were still eating grains, that was probably the issue. So this light bulb kind of went off in my brain and I was like, actually, that's the one thing I haven't really tried and I don't think it'll really help because I don't think I'm sensitive to those foods, but you know what? I've got nothing to lose, so let's give it a try. For the next, immediate 48 hours, I didn't eat any grains. And guys, this sounds insane, but I felt almost immediate relief. 48 hours later, my stomach felt flatter and more normal than it had in years. And I just felt better. So I decided to keep going. But over the next 3 months, I stuck mostly to my grain-free diet. That means no wheat, no corn, no rice, no quinoa. It's definitely a little more restricted than even a gluten-free diet, but thankfully I love so many foods that don't contain grains, and I've really been filling my plate with avocado and vegetables and fruits and meats and cheeses and dairy and all kinds of really nutrient-packed foods. And honestly, I've been feeling so good that I haven't even been tempted to not eat this way. I just feel like feeling this good, no food is worth sacrificing that. Some of the benefits that I've seen, my energy levels, I mentioned, they have been so high. I've felt just so good when I wake up in the morning. It probably also is due to the fact that I've been sleeping really well. And I also just have not been experiencing that bloating that left me so uncomfortably full that sometimes I lost my appetite completely. I feel like my metabolism has just been moving and grooving, and I just feel the way that I know my body is supposed to feel. Of course, being the food lover that I am, I definitely have been trying to reincorporate some items to see what happens. I think the first thing that I tried was was corn. I live in Austin. I live on tacos. And our family went to this great Mexican food restaurant, and this place makes their own corn tortillas. I know they're really high quality. I decided to give it a try and see if my body could tolerate corn. I ate a few chips, I ate a taco, and the next day, I couldn't go to the bathroom. I was right back where I started. And it was really like kind of an aha moment, but it also was kind of sad because I realized that corn really did affect me negatively. I got back on my no grains way of eating, and within about a day, I was back to feeling great. The next thing that I tried was pizza, because pizza is my favorite food. I had a few bites of pizza, and the next morning, I woke up with extreme bloating. And I kind of realized in that moment that a few bites of pizza is not worth feeling sluggish and gross the entire next day. I have become so addicted to feeling so good that I really don't want to sacrifice that feeling for eating a few bites of a certain food. I got back on the train, and within about a day or two, I was back to a really good place. And that brings us to the present. I feel so good. I know I sound like a broken record, but if honestly my journey can help with any of the GI issues that you guys might be experiencing, it's worth it. I want you guys to all feel this good. And yes, this might not work for everyone. Again, there is no one size fits all diet, and I don't think that grains are bad for everyone's system. I think there are a lot of people that can totally handle them just fine. But if you've been dealing with unresolved GI issues for years and you don't know the reason, you might try it. That's all I would say. Just give it a try. Try going grain-free for a week and just see how you feel. Now that my gut is healed and I'm feeling so good, I've actually been able to find benefit from some of those other strategies that I tried to employ before. Think of it like this. If you have skin that is inflamed and broken out, and you try to apply all these fancy serums on top, your skin's not gonna be happy because the underlying skin is damaged. You have to heal it first, and then you can feed it with all the good stuff. GI issues are often the same. If you have a leaky gut, you have to heal that intestinal lining first, and then you can start feeding it all of the probiotics and all of the good things that are going to really boost your gut health levels. You have to get to the root cause first. So for me, eliminating grains has allowed my gut to heal, and then I can start adding all of those bonus things that are going to elevate my health to even higher levels. Here is my real, no BS list of what truly makes a difference in my day-to-day health and digestion. If I had to choose one thing that's made the biggest difference in my digestion, outside of cutting out grains, it would be eating mindfully. So what exactly does that mean? For me, it means not multitasking while I eat. It means chewing my food really thoroughly, because digestion starts in the mouth, which I think is a really cool thing to remember. It means eating slowly. My default setting is kind of to rush through what I'm eating and get on to the next thing. But when I'm eating mindfully, I'm really paying attention to what I'm eating, the flavors, the tastes, and just slowing the whole process down, which really aids in digestion. One thing that's really helpful to me is when I sit down at the table, I try to stop and take 3 deep breaths before I even pick up my fork. And then I put my fork down between bites. I try to really pay attention while I'm chewing, and this helps me not rush through the meal, and it also helps me avoid overeating. You guys have heard me talk about my morning AG1 habit so many times, but in addition to all of the vitamins and minerals that I get, AG1 also has a hefty dose of probiotics and prebiotics which boost your gut health. So I really like this form of probiotic because it comes in a powder, which makes it more absorbable for your body than a lot of the probiotic pills on the market. Another thing that is so key for me is sticking to a morning routine. You guys know what I mean by this. When we want to be regular, we have to stick to a regular schedule. When our circadian rhythms are totally out of whack, like when we're traveling, it really messes with our digestive system. Trying to go to bed at the same time every day and get up at the same time every day really tells our digestive system what to do. I really try to ease into the morning with the same schedule every day. I get up at 6 a.m. pretty much every day, including the weekends. I start my morning with some water, a cup of hot coffee, some deep breathing, and I don't rush the process. Drinking tons of water is an essential part to helping the digestive system run properly. I have turned this into a daily habit so that I always make sure I'm staying hydrated all day. Here's what I do. While I'm making my kids breakfast in the morning, I get out my big half-gallon bottle of water. I add 1 packet of Element electrolytes, which I'm completely addicted to, and I add 1 packet of this like odorless, tasteless fiber called sun fiber. I really like it. You can't even taste that it's there. Then I fill up the water bottle with filtered water and I sip on it all day. I take it in my car with me, I have it at my desk, and by the end of the day, I have drank all that water. My digestive system is fully hydrated, and then I also have those electrolytes and that extra dose of fiber, which also really helps keep things moving and is just a nice nutritional boost too. Guys, our gut health has such a massive effect on our mood and on our energy levels, so taking time to figure out what works best for your unique body is such a worthy journey. And if you're also one of the many people who deal with gut health issues on a regular basis, I just want to say you really can feel good again. I promise. I know it can be really frustrating when you've tried a lot of things and you can't find the answers. I have certainly been there, but I would just encourage you to keep experimenting and keep learning what works best for your own body, because I want you to step into your most vibrant and most energized self. Okay, leave me a comment if this hits for you. I would love to hear more about your journey in this area, what's worked for you, and if you want to hear more about my grain-free journey. I have so many recipes and meal planning tips for this new way of eating. Maybe we should do a What I Eat in a Day grain-free edition. Let me know, and I will see you next time.